What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another stream. Welcome to the very first stream of Train Talk with me, Conductor Jackson. I see we got Storm here. Welcome, Storm. There's no sound yet. I see there's no sound yet, so let me try something real quick. Dalton, welcome aboard. Thank you so much for the raid. All right. Boy, I think we're off to a good stuff so far. Welcome aboard once again, everyone. And tonight we'll be talking about trains. Is everybody ready? Oh, I also just want to let everyone know. I'm sure you probably heard from one of Mally's streams. I'm also on Kick now, if you are following on there, it's the same username, Conductor_Jackson on Kick, and we're all good. Would you prefer me on Twitch or Kick? I mean, at the moment, I would say maybe Twitch because I'm still trying to like manage both at the same time. So, I mean, I don't mind either way. Dolak, hey, what's up? Welcome aboard. Thank you for the all aboard. All right, to those of you who just joined, we're going to be talking about some trains tonight. Is everybody ready? Can I get all aboard in the chat? Come on, let me get another all aboard in the chat. All right, awesome. All right. All right, let me get everything set up so I can show you what some of the locomotives we're going to be talking about. All right, over to Kick until I get home in 10 minutes or so. Okay, no worries. All right, thank you once again, everyone, for the all aboard. Let me just set up set this up so that way I can see both chats. Give me 1 second. Still trying to get this all figured out. After all, I am double streaming tonight. BOB? Yeah, no worries, Dalton. All right, so far we got one, we got two on Twitch and one on Kick so far. So if you know anyone that wants to join in on the fun, either on Twitch or Kick, share the stream, and we'll get going. All right, let me just get everything set up. Just give me 1 second, you guys. Down with Dexter. Hey, welcome aboard. Thank you so much for coming in. Welcome aboard. We're gonna be talking about trains tonight. I'm just trying to get everything set up. Once again. So, wait, what did Dolak say? I'm hoping tomorrow I can get a fix on my Disneyland bug from last week. Oh, that's nice, Dolak. Awesome. All right. Let me just try to set this up so that way I could try to see both chats at the same time. Still trying to manage both Kick and Twitch at the same time, everyone, so please just bear with me. Okay. Anyone that's in chat. Yeah, once again, we'll be on both platforms. All right. No worries, Storm. Just give me 1 second. Let me just try to get all set up. Give me 1 sec, everyone. Just try to get this all situated. All right, I'm almost done setting this up, and we'll get this going. All right. All right. All right, let's get this thing going, everyone. Can I get another all aboard in the chat? Come on. I want to see it. BRB, no worries. Wait, let's get going. So here's our first locomotive that we'll be talking about tonight. This, everyone, is Santa Fe 3751. This is a so so this locom so this locomotive right here was built for the Santa Fe Railway in 1927, and and according and according to from my sources, this is a 484 Northern type steam locomotive built by Baltimore Locomotive Works in Edwardsville, Philadelphia. It, this locomotive in particular was the first 484 steam locomotive built for the Santa Fe, and it referenced in documentary as type quote unquote heavy mountain pneumatic or mounted four wheel trailer. Number 3754 served in passenger duties until being retired in 1953. Just a little bit detail about the locomotive itself. As you can see right, as you can see right, as as you can see right here from the look of it. Alrighty, and and also I also got to see the locomotive. I also got to see this locomotive itself last year in September in Fullerton because Amtrak was doing a real safety week thing. So it was really cool. Dalton, thank you for the look. Thank you so much. Anyone? Let's see who's on kick right now. All aboard. All right. Welcome back, Storm. We just started talking about 30, Saturday 3751. All right, let me now to go a little bit more history of this locomotive itself. As and and right and just, excuse me, everyone. Go a little bit more about the locomotive right here. When it was first built, it says that tests showed that the new locomotive was 20% more efficient and powerful than the 3700 class 482 mountain type steamers, which at the same time was Santa Fe's most advanced steam locomotives. Santa Fe adopted the terminology heavy mountain, new mountain, or mountain four-wheel trailer as notation for the new 484 type and continued numbering sequence of the 3700 class mountains by numbering the first 484 3751. Then in 1936, the locomotive was converted to burn oil and was given larger tender and holds 20,000 U.S. gallons of water and exactly 7,107,000 U.S. gallons of fuel oil 2 years later. The engine says here also the number 3751 was also present at the grand opening of Union Passenger Terminal in Los Angeles, May 7, 1939. That was the name of Union Station, L.A. when it opened, and on that day it was pulling the Scout, one of Santa Fe's crack passenger trains as it arrived from Chicago. It was the first steam locomotive to bring a passenger train into Union Station. So there's definitely a lot of history to this locomotive right here, and the locomotive is also a registered historical landmark, so it can never be scrapped or anything. So it's part of it's definitely it's definitely a great piece of history. Let me tell you. Anybody have any questions so far? Coming in both streams now. All right, awesome. Thank you, Storm. I'm still trying. Once again, just please bear with me. Just please bear with me on this. I'm still trying to navigate both Twitch and Kick at the same time, so might be a little bit funky at first. Anybody have any questions so far about this locomotive in particular? All right, let's keep moving on. And uh, 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 and and then in 1941, the locomotive received major upgrades, including 80-inch drive wheels, a new frame, rolling bearings all around, and more. That same year, it achieved its highest record speed, 103 miles per hour. It continued to be very reliable working locomotive up until August 23rd, 1953, when it pulled the last regularly scheduled steam-powered passenger train on the Santa Fe to run between Los Angeles and San Diego. It was its last it and according to this, it was the last one in its revenue service before it was officially retired. After that, it was stored at the Redondo Junction. But then in 1958, it was placed on display in San Bernardino. Then years later, in 1981, the San Bernardino Railroad Historical Society was created. This was created to bring this locomotive back into revenue service. Then a few years later, 1986, they bought the engine from display to move it to California Steel Industries. Can you guess how much it cost to buy that locomotive back? It's a crazy it's a crazy number that they had to purchase this locomotive to get back to buy from restoration. 1.2 million. Okay, well, way lower than that. This is when they bought the locomotive from San Bernardino, so that way they can start restoration on it. Let me see any guesses in the in the in the kick chat. No, okay. Oops. Okay. It was $1 that the San Bernardino Railroad Historical Society. It was $1 that the organization bought to get the locomotive back and start and to transport it to do the restoration. That was just to move it to that was to move it continuing on to California Steel Industries, which was assured at this cost. Now, can you guess the cost of how much it cost to complete the whole restoration of the locomotive? A lot higher. I'm talking about the full restoration. Warmer. Oops. Way higher. Let's see. Let's see if anyone's asked on Kick. Okay, you're very close. It was $1.5 million for the whole restoration of Santa Fe 3751. So you're very close, Dexter. So, but good guess. And moving on, it was then it was then put on its own seat for the very first time after restoration on August 13th, 1991. It's been the first time in 38 years that it ran under its own power. It made its first excursion on December 27th of the same year, running with two Santa Fe EMD FP45s and 16 passenger cars on a 4-day trip from LA via Barstow to Bakersfield. And I quote, since then, it has been utilized for a large number of excursions and special trips and for display at many events. And 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 let me show you some clips of and in just a bit I'm going to show you some clips on YouTube of what the engine sounds like. Just give me 1 second. Let me try to find a good one. Oh, here's a good one. All right, here we go. Let's go to full screen. Here's a clip of here's a clip of what the locomotive sounds like passing by the station, and to hear its magnificent whistle.
Okay, get down low. It's gonna be going by really quick, so don't move whatever you do. May 2nd, 2010. Steam locomotive going by high speed. Oh wow.
No, how amazing is that, you guys? Oh, I just love that. I love the sound of that engine. Just love it so much. Also, I also got to see this. I also got to see this. Well, as I mentioned before, I also got to see this engine in person last year. I've also seen it before back in 2011 when Amtrak was celebrating National Train Day at Union Station, where I got to see it for the very first time. Let me tell you, it was a sight to see that locomotive. Anybody have any questions so far? I felt the force of passing by just watching the video. Oh yeah, definitely. What? Definitely, I agree, Jolak. If you go to my Instagram, I actually have some clips on, and it's also on my YouTube as well. I actually have clips of where I saw the locomotive last year in September in Fullerton. It was a magnificent sight to see. What route does the Santa Fe work? Well, well, let me try to find my notes real quick because I did. Just give me 1 second. I did. Are you asking about the engine in particular of like when it was in service in the early days, or are you talking about today, like passenger service or like freight service? Let me see. Give me 1 second, Dola. I did. I know I did have something in my. I did have something in my phone that I made some notes about. Give me 1 second. Just trying to remember the exact route. Okay, here we go. Let's go with both yesteryear and today in terms of both passenger and freight service. Well, I do know. Well, I do know in the '90s, Santa Fe merged with Burlington Northern Summit, so they mainly. So if we're talking in terms of freight, it's more of like the Western United, more like the West, like more to the west of the United States. Or if you're talking about passenger service, they start they ended passenger service up until Amtrak came around like 1971. So So to put in that perspective, because in the early days, like when 3751 was put in service, Santa Fe was mainly a passenger line up until the 70s when Amtrak came around and and started taking over all the passenger services, and that's when they started going up, and that's when they started going more into freight, which then years later they merged with Burlington Northern, making it the largest railroad company in the country, to my understanding. Uh, gotcha. Yeah. And was have any questions about Santa Fe, about 3751? Let's see who else is in the chat right now. We got Storm, Dolak. We also had Dexter. Thank you once again, everyone, for joining in on the stream. Still nothing on. Nothing new on Kick. All right, that's fine. All right, let's continue on. Let's continue. Let's continue on a little bit more of the history of the locomotive. Oop, let me go back to the picture. Oops. There we go. All right, alrighty. When it got all right, moving on. When it first got put back into service after the restoration, it's in August of 1992, and I quote that the end that the 3751 was found on its largest summit so far, as the engine ran the entire route of Santa Fe's Transcon route between Los Angeles and Chicago, with 3 and later 2 Santa Fe GE-8 240 CWs. The engine spent 18 days traveling over 2,300 miles or 3,700 kilometers in both directions. This one will include traveling to Topeka, Kansas to attend that year's Topeka Railroad Days. The locomotive is specifically displayed your Union Pacific 4664 number 3985, also known as the Challenger. This reminds me of God's story for you when I'm more awake. Okay. Then moving on. And then from April 22nd to April 23rd of 1995, the locomotive was then displayed in the Riverside Sunkist Orange Blossom Festival in Riverside. Then on December 31st, 1996, when the Santa Fe Railway merged with Burlington Northern to form Burlington Northern Santa Fe, or BNSF for short, and I quote, the locomotive retained the same number. The excursion was operated, excuse me, the locomotive retained the same number. The excursion was operated again on April 20th to 21st, 1996. Then in June of 1999, it participated in Rail Fair 99. On the way to the fair, the engine went BNSF G-944CW and a passenger train mixed with a boxcar from Los Angeles to Sacramento via San Bernardino, Barstow, Bakersfield, and Stockton. Then in October 2000, the locomotive was listed on the National Register of Historic Places. As mentioned before, this engine is a historical landmark, so it can never be scrapped or torn apart or anything. So it's amazing to see a locomotive like this being preserved, and moving on. It's also been displayed in Fullerton multiple times for Fullerton Railroad Days, which I'm hoping they bring back soon because I definitely want to go to that. because not only that, it goes there, but Disneyland's also been there. They've taken some of their locomotives there for people to check out. It's really cool. Alrighty, and the locomotive itself has surviving sister engines that was built the same year as the locomotive itself. We got 3759, 3768, 2903, 2912, 2913, 2921, 2925, 2926. 2926 actually just got refurbished and is now back in operating condition. So I'm hoping to see that locomotive again. I'm hoping to see that locomotive soon because it would be great to see another engine like 3751 back back on the rails. Alrighty. Alright. And also if you want to if you want to learn a little bit more about the locomotive itself, everyone, just you could go to the San Bernardino Railroad Historical Sites website.com to know about where the train will be going for like certain events and all that. And if you want to help support them, you could donate to help keep this locomotive running and going for future excursions. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break right now. Gotta get some water real quick, and we'll be we'll be going over the next couple the next couple locomotives we'll be going over tonight on stream. I'll be right back, everyone. All right, I'm back. All right, I'm back, everyone. Uh, just grab some water real quick. Thank you, Storm, for the all aboard. All right, let's continue on. So, so the next locomotive we're going to be talking about is a locomotive I mentioned in my vlog at the LA County Fair at the Fairplex. So, so this locomotive here is Outer Harbor Terminal Railway number 2. Thank you, Dolak, for the sus. Wait, one command. Oh, no worries. So as I mentioned, so as I said, this is all right, Dolak. Thank you for the all aboard. All right, so this is Outer Harbor Terminal Railway number 2. As I mentioned in my vlog, going over a little bit of history. This locomotive was used in San Pedro for the Los Angeles Harbor for the for the Los Angeles Harbor up until 1955, and and according to the Rail Giants Museum, and I quote, this was the locomotive was reputed to be the oldest locomotive daily service in the United States. Outer Harbor Dock and Wharf Inc. Union Oil Company donated the locomotive to the Southern California chapter in December of 1955. And as I mentioned, my vlog is a 0-6 switching locomotive and was used along the docks at San Pedro, California. It was originally built for the Santa Fe Railway as the number 590. Then it was sent to the Southern California Railway as the number 40. Santa Fe assumed ownership of the Southern California Harbor Dock and Wharf and renumbered the engine to number 2. The company later became the Outer Harbor Railway Company when the Union Oil Company took over operation of the OHDNW. And and there's a little bit of and let me read you a bit of history from the Rail Giants Museum about the railroad in the Los Angeles Harbor, and I quote: "In the late 1860s, Phineas Bannon realized that for San Pedro Harbor to become a center of commerce, three things needed to be accomplished: building a railroad constructing a breakwater and dredging the harbor to accommodate large ships, allowing them to dock directly at the wharves. In October of 1869, construction was completed on the Los Angeles and San Pedro Railroad, Southern California's first railroad. On March 2nd, 1871, Congress voted an appropriation for construction of a rock jetty from the lower end of Rattlesnake Island, which is known today as Seminole Island, to Dead Man's Island. In 1872, the Southern Pacific Railroad agreed to run their railroad through Los Angeles and purchased the Los Angeles San Pedro Railroad in 1875. A competitive railroad, the Los Angeles and Independence Railroad, was constructed from San Marcos to Los Angeles. By 1877, however, the Southern Pacific, after drastically lowering rates, drove the new railroad into ruin and purchased it for less than half of what it cost to build in 1881. They built an extension of the Los Angeles San Pedro Railroad across the Wilmington Lagoon on piling support near the Trims Point, thus allowing direct railroad access in the deep water wharf. Phineas Banning died in 1882, but his dream of making San Pedro a major port entry to the United States would soon be realized. Soon, two new railroads entered the picture, competing with San Pedro as the dominant port for the Los Angeles area. The Santa Fe Railroad constructed a wharf in Redondo Beach, which shipped a considerable amount of lumber from there. On April 13, 1892, the Dominguez heirs sold the Rattlesnake Island to a competing railroad, the Los Angeles and Terminal Island Railroad Company. Rattlesnake Island was known as such because it was home to a large population of rattlesnakes who migrated down to the Los Angeles River. The name was changed to Terminal Island by the railroad company because of the terminus of the rail line established there. So that's a little bit of history for you about the railroad in the Los Angeles Harbor. Anybody have any questions so far? Anybody have any questions so far? No one in Kick so far has any questions. Anybody have any questions before we move on? Anyone? Anyone have any questions? let's continue. All right, we're gonna continue on to our next and probably final locomotive of the night. Just get this up. I'm gonna look the rest. No worries, Storm. No worries. Gonna get set up for some arguing. Yeah, no worries. Sounds good. It's just the sound went off when I was looking for the next locomotive. Alrighty. Let me just try to find a good picture of the next locomotive we're gonna talk about. Ah, here we go. Give me one sec, guys. Let me just pull this up. Just trying to find a good picture of the next locomotive we're gonna talk about. Okay, here we go. This is probably a good one. Alrighty, here's our next locomotive we'll be talking. Our next and possibly final locomotive we'll be talking about for the night. This heavy one is Fruit Supply Company number 3. This locomotive right here was used. This locomotive right here was used for Sunkiss and let me just so and that also as I mentioned I think I mentioned this in my vlog was at the Fairplex, but this locomotive right here was the Rail Giants Museum's first acquisition, and also as I mentioned in my vlog as well, it was used fructose supply company up in Hilt, California. And going a little bit more, and I quote, according to according to fructose.com, and also from the Rail Giants Museum, that, as I said, which I also mentioned in my blog, this unique locomotive was the chapter's first acquisition coming to Pomona in 1954. It was donated by Sunkist Growers Inc. and its subsidiary Fruit Growers Supply Company. Number 3 is a Climax-type geared locomotive that was used on Fruit Growers Logging Railroad at Hilt, California. As I mentioned before, which I also mentioned in my vlog, this breed of locomotive was once popular along with more widely used Shea and Heisler on the tortoise rug logging railroads of our country. Sunkist entered the logging to ensure a steady supply of quote-unquote shuck, that's how it's pronounced, wood for orange crates. All 6 items of the locomotive are powered through a series of gears and flexible shafts primarily driven by 2 inclined cylinders. It's this one. It's what this is right here. If you look at my cursor, all 6 islands of the locomotive are powered through a series of gears and flexible shafts, primarily driven by the 2 inclined cylinders on each side. Compared to the conventional rod locomotive, the flexibility of the Climax made it ideally suited for the rough terrain of the logging railroad. And let's go a little bit of history of the fruit growers and the railroad itself. And I quote from fruitgrowers.com and also from the Rail Giants Museum. And I quote, Sunkist formation in the late 19th century was the function of burden and growth record by California's citrus industry during the period. Commercial citrus production began in the region roughly half a century before the birth of Sunkist. When the first commercial orchard took root in 1840, from this starting point, a series of events spanned the fires of growth, transforming that single orchard situated in what would later become downtown Los Angeles into a thriving industry and an integral component of the state's economy. The forces that promoted the growth of the citrus industry provided the reason for Sunkist's creation. The first significant event occurred in 1848 when began the California Gold Rush, with prestigious waves of fortune seekers into the region. As the state's population increased exponentially, its ability to meet the food demands of its new residents was stretched beyond capacity. Vitamin-rich fruits and vegetables were in short supply, causing many of the new Californians to develop scurvy. Excuse me. Citrus production was increased as a response, but an even greater boost to the fledgling citrus industry occurred 20 years later when the Transcontinental Railroad was completed in 1870. Within 10 years of the first rail shipment, the volume of California citrus moving east had grown more than 2,000 rail cars annually. In another 5 years, the volume had doubled. California citrus had become big business. So that's a little. A bit about the fruit growers and the railroad, and also a little bit about Sunkist and about the locomotive in particular. All right, we still got a few more minutes. I think we have time for maybe do about another locomotive. Does anybody have any questions so far? Anyone? Anyone have any questions so far? Before we go over one more locomotive? Nope. All right, we're gonna go over one more locomotive. Locomotive I think you guys would like. Alrighty, let me just find a good picture of it. Britt, hey, welcome aboard. Welcome to the stream. We were just going. Welcome to our first train talk. We're gonna be going. We'll just be going over one final locomotive for the night. All right. I was on kick. All right, no worries. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm still trying to manage both at the same time, so just bear with me on that. Okay, yeah, I see you. I'm still trying to. It's my first time double stream, so I'm just trying to manage both at the same time. So just bear with me on that. Alrighty. All right. Okay, and this is a locomotive I think you guys are definitely gonna like. All right. Yeah, I'm not sure about cake, so I'd rather be on Twitch. Yeah, I feel it, but I'm still kind of in the middle about it, but I'm still trying. I'm giving it a shot right now just to try both. So the only thing challenging is trying to look at both chats at the same time. So all right, everyone. Now this is the locomotive you guys are definitely gonna like. Now this locomotive here is the largest operating steam locomotive in the world that was put back into service in 2019 after being put on display at the Rail Giants Museum in Pomona. May I present to you the Union Pacific Big Boy. What do you think of this, everyone? Isn't this a beauty? So let's go over some of the history of the engine from information provided by the Rail Giants Museum, and I quote about Union Pacific Big Boy number 4014. Donated by Union Pacific Railroad on this in December 1961, locomotive number 4014 was the most famous locomotive in the Rail Giants Train Museum's impressive display of locomotive during its 52 years here. Union Pacific number 4014 is a big boy class steam locomotive having a 4-8-4 wheel arrangement. They are, they are the heaviest expansion steam locomotive. They are the heaviest single expansion steam locomotive ever built, weighing about 1,200,000 pounds. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize how heavy that was. Big boy locomotives are hinged or articulated because of the great length it forward pony trucks and drive wheels shivel independently of the boiler and rear drivers when rounding curves. Big boy class was designed for transporting heavy freight trains without assistance from helper locomotives, which is why this which is why this engine is so big, which is why this engine here is huge. Okay, now where was I? Oh, here we go. That the locomotive, and I quote, primarily on the Ouachita Mountains between Ogden, Utah, and Green River, Wyoming, in the later years of service, Big Boy service territory was extended east to Cheyenne. Big Boy number 4014 was retired in 1959 after 18 years of service. Number 4014 arrived at the Los Angeles County Fairgrounds on January 8th, 1962, a few years later. Then, fast forward to 2013, fast forward later, and I quote, in the summer 2013, Union Pacific required Big Boy number 4014 to restore it as an operating steam locomotive as part of its heritage locomotive fleet. Big Boy number 4014 departed the Rail Giants Museum on November 14th, 2013, when it began its gradual journey across the fairgrounds parking lot. It departed the Los Angeles County Fairgrounds at 2:45 a.m. on January 26, 2014, and arrived at Union Pacific's West Colton facility in Bloomington, California, about 1 p.m. that afternoon. Big Boy number 4014 departed Bloomington, California at 9:15 a.m. on April 28th, 2014 to begin its 11 days, 1,250-mile journey across 4 states. Thousands of people watched it being towed by SD-70 locomotives UP number 4014 and UP number 4884 and, and visited Big Boy number 4014 while on public display in Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Ogden, and many other cities and towns along the way. Number 4014 arrived in Cheyenne, Wyoming on the afternoon on May 8th, 2014. Its restoration was completed 5 years later, and on May 4th, 2019, restored Big Boy number 4014 was christened in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and began its first tour to Ogden, Utah to participate in Union Pacific celebration of the driving of the Golden Spike, which transpired 150 years later before a nearby promontory summit, just in time for the 150th anniversary of the Transcontinental Railroad. Possum, welcome aboard. Something bamboo, something deja vu. Appreciate you, Jackson. Oh, I appreciate you too. Thank you for coming on board. All right, moving on. By the end of 2019, number 450 toured more of its new home on the Union Pacific system throughout the upper Midwest, Southwest United States, and Southern California. And I'm definitely hoping to see this locomotive again one day, because I also seen this locomotive as well when it was still on display at the Rail Giants Museum. But I was really little when I saw the locomotive. Now I'm gonna show you a clip of what the engine sounds like. Let me tell you, it's magnificent. Let me find a good one. We'll go with this one. Like this one. Let's get rid of this ad real quick. All right, all right, everyone. We're gonna watch. You're gonna see what Union Pacific number 4014 sounds like. Let me tell you, the whistle is magnificent. Just look at that thing go. Isn't it magnificent? It should be ringing its bell just a moment. Oh, there it is. Just look at that steam come out. All right, there you go. Look, let me try find one of it speeding by. Let's wait for this ad to go away real quick. What do you guys think of it so far? Oh, here it goes. No, this is what sounds like going at high speed. Amazing. Isn't that amazing, you guys? Let me see if we can find some other pictures of it pulling freight. Or one of them from the early days. Absolutely, yeah, I definitely agree. That was cool. That was cool. Yeah, I know. I'm hoping to see that locomotive again. Also, if you want to know when we'll be doing excursions, you can also go to Union Pacific's website and they would schedule they would let everyone they would let you know when they'll be doing excursions for this locomotive. So I was gonna try to see it back in 2021 because it was supposed to come to up north in Roseville, but they had to cancel it because of the supply chain issue. So right now it's only doing a little excursion from like I think it's just a little bit across the Midwest for the I think it's for the college. I can't remember the name of the excursion, but it's for the College World Series, I believe. So let me try to find some older photos of it just to see how. Oh, here's a good one. Let me see if I can find some good ones of it hauling freight because there's definitely some good ones. Oh, here's a good one. So this is from Union Pacific itself. This is this is another this is another big boy. This is this is how much freight they would carry. Like loads of it. Like isn't it amazing how much isn't it amazing how much it can haul? Like it fascinates me. Like it just still amazes me even to this day that they built that they built that they built that they built these locomotives. Alrighty, we're a little bit over the hour mark. We're a little bit over the hour mark, so I'm going to be ending streaming a little bit. I would like to say thank you so much, everyone, for thank you so much for thank you so much, everyone, for joining in tonight for another stream on the Jackson Express and for our first train talk with me, Conductor Jackson. All right, let's see if we can rate somebody tonight. Just give me 1 second, everyone. Raid Storm. Oh yeah, that's what I'm trying to look. All right, so we got Storm that's live. All right, alrighty. We're gonna be doing that in a sec. So I really hope everyone enjoyed the stream tonight once again. I hope. Oh, before we end, I might not be streaming tomorrow night because I'm gonna be at Disneyland tomorrow with my brother and his girlfriend. So I might not be able to stream tomorrow night. But I'll let everyone know if anything changes. But other than that, I'll see you guys on the next stream. Thank you so much, everyone. Hope everyone has a magical night, and I'll see you next time on the Jackson Express.